A world without weapons, is it possible? The world today is a web of complex relationships often strained by conflict and mistrust. At the heart of this web lies the issue of weapons. Disarmament, the reduction or elimination of weapons, offers a powerful vision, a world free from the threat of violence. Disarmament is not simply about reducing the number of weapons, it's about changing the way we think about security. It differs from arms control, which aims to regulate the existing weapons and prevent their further development. Disarmament seeks a world where weapons are not the default solution to international disputes. This essay explores the multifaceted concept of disarmament. We will delve into historical examples, differentiate between imposed and voluntary disarmament, and examine the types and challenges associated with it. Ultimately, we will assess the potential and limitations of disarmament in achieving a more secure and peaceful world. The shadow of history-imposed disarmament. History offers compelling examples of disarmament, often imposed on defeated nations after major conflicts. One such instance is the Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919 after the First World War. The treaty, partly aimed at preventing future wars, imposed stringent disarmament clauses on Germany. Germany's army was limited to a small defensive force, its navy was severely restricted, and it was forbidden from possessing an air force or submarines. While intended to curb German aggression, the Treaty of Versailles is often cited as a contributing factor to the rise of resentment and nationalism that led to the Second World War. The Treaty of Versailles serves as a reminder of the complexities of imposed disarmament. While it can reduce the immediate threat of conflict, it can also sow the seeds of future instability if not managed carefully and fairly. A leap of faith, voluntary disarmament. In contrast to imposed disarmament, voluntary disarmament arises from agreements between nations willing to relinquish weapons. An example is the Reykjavik Summit of 1986 between US President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Though the summit did not result in a formal treaty, it marked a turning point in the Cold War. Both leaders discussed the possibility of eliminating all nuclear weapons, demonstrating a shared desire to move away from the brink of nuclear annihilation. Voluntary disarmament, while challenging, holds the promise of greater stability and trust. It requires open dialogue, mutual understanding, and a shared commitment to a future free from the threat of weapons of mass destruction. The long road ahead, types and challenges of disarmament. Disarmament can take various forms. General and Complete Disarmament, or GCD, aims for the complete elimination of all weapons, including conventional arms. This ambitious goal faces significant challenges, including verifying compliance and addressing the root causes of conflict. Regional disarmament, a more practical approach, focuses on reducing weapons within specific geographical areas. This approach has seen some success, for example, in the establishment of nuclear weapon-free zones in various parts of the world. However, disarmament faces significant hurdles. Verification, ensuring that all parties adhere to the agreed-upon terms, remains a complex task. Political conflicts, often rooted in historical grievances and mistrust, can fuel arms races and hinder disarmament efforts. A safer tomorrow, the potential and limits of disarmament. Disarmament, despite its challenges, holds immense potential for a safer and more peaceful world. It can free up resources for human development, reduce the risk of accidental or intentional use of weapons, and foster trust and cooperation among nations. While the ideal of complete disarmament might seem utopian, it is crucial to acknowledge the progress made and to strive for achievable goals. The international community has successfully negotiated treaties banning landmines, cluster munitions, and chemical weapons, demonstrating the power of collective action. Disarmament is not an end in itself, but a continuous process that requires sustained effort, political will, and global cooperation. By addressing the root causes of conflict, promoting dialogue, and striving for a world where security is not based on weapons, we can inch closer to a future where peace prevails.